On Today we are going to be learning how to sew these bone channels on your corset. So to learn this, kindly watch this video to the end. So I'll be showing us how I was able to wrap it and how I sew them on the net. Okay, so let's get started. First thing you need to do is to get your bone. So to get this, you need to measure the bone from, you need to measure the length of the bone on the net. You measure it and cut it out. So this is the length I'm going to be using. So now you need your net. This net totally depends on you. So this one, let me measure it. The one I use here, it depends on how very, this one is 7 inches wide. You can see 7 inches wide. It depends on how thick you want the net to be. So this 7 inches, I'm going to fold it like so. After folding it into 2, I'll still fold it again, making 4. I hope you understand my point. So now you're going to put it in between. Can you see? First of all, this is 7 inches. I fold it twice, then I fold it the third time, or it making 4 like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you put the bone. You are going to insert the bone in the middle, like so. Then you use it to wrap it up. So after wrapping, place it on your machine. You are going to sew it from beginning to the end of the bone. Okay. So to do this, there's something that you need to do there before you start sewing. Make sure you lock the bone inside the net very well. Make sure it's locked in very well so that it will look flat. So then you start to sew it. Then as you are sewing, you are trying to arrange this net very well. You are trying to arrange it like so. Try to arrange it and try to drag it the way I'm doing now so that it won't pack inside. Okay, you try to drag it in. You will continue to do it that way. You're going to drag it to the end. You're going to do it to the end. So you are finished sewing that. So the next thing you are going to do, we've sewed it on this side. Then you fold it inward back again. Can you see? Fold it in. To fold it, you see, you sew this side, you are going to fold it inward again like that. Then you're going to stop stitch on it. Fold it inward very well. Then you are going to make sure it's very firm. Sorry for the distraction, please. So you are going to make sure it's very firm like that. You drag it, make sure you drag it in very well. I'm going to drag it in. I'm going to sew it from beginning to the end. So I'm done sewing it to the end. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to trim this one. We are going to trim it off a little bit. Don't let it get close to the sewing allowance. Just trim it a little bit. Okay. Just be careful, watch out for it so that it won't cut the main fabric. Okay, so you're going to trim it out like how it's going to. Can you see how very neat it is from the outside here? And on this other side, you're going to sew it down. Can you see how it is? So this is how to wrap your bone. This is how you're going to wrap it. Sew it on the net now. So to sew it, I've already joined my pieces together, so I'm just going to place it on it. I'll just place it on it like so. Then make sure it stays on the joining, please. Then you follow the line that you sew already so that there won't be too much lines on it. So that is it. Then you are going to sew it the second time. The second sewing. I've measured the length of the net and the bone. They are of the same length. Okay, that's how you are going to do it. So the next thing you are going to do, I've told us already, just wrap it into two. Just wrap it into two like that and fold it again. Insert it in the middle. Then you sew it on one. Insert it in the middle. Then I'm going to sew it straight. Just keep sewing. I'll show you when I finish sewing it to the end. Here is it to the end. Done sewing. So the second time, you're going to sew it the second time too. So, over like so. Sew it the second time. Make sure you drag it very well. Make sure it's very tight so that it won't be big. So that it won't make it bigger. So you fold it in like that. So I'm going to sew it to the end. Sewing to the end. So that is it. So the next thing we are going to do is to trim this off. Like I did for the first one, just trim it off. As I put it on this. Sew it down on that same line. It's as simple as that. We are going to sew it on that same line and be watchful and be mindful of the place you are placing it on. So this is it. So you sew it the second time. That's all you need to do. So I'll go to my iron table and iron it flat so that everything will stay in place. And I'll come back and show us the. Here is the outcome and the results of how to achieve a clean bone on your corsets. So till I come your way, my name is Mommy Odumbaku, and don't forget the registration of our corset online classes are still going on. Kindly send us a message if you are interested in any of our online classes. Thank you. Till I come your way next time, my name is Mommy Odumbaku. Bye.